Hello, hello. I think we're good this time. Yes, we are good this time. Hi, guys. Happy Saturday to you. Happy Saturn Day to you. Yes. I have been keeping myself focused with the energies of the day of the week that correspond to the planets. And that's how I've been structuring my reading schedule for the monthlies. And I'm loving it. I'm totally settling into an alchemist feel, and it is fantastic. It feels like I'm finally settling into the alchemist that I'm meant to be. So it's wonderful. But hello. Welcome to Divine Conversations, and welcome to this collective reading and absolute ton of channeled messages for Jupiter being in Aquarius. Now, of course, some of you, not many of you, but some of you are kind of looking at me six ways sideways, talking about, what do you mean? Jupiter's not in Aquarius. In terms of sidereal astrology, yes. At this moment, between the dates of December 9th of 2021 through to March 24th of 2022, Jupiter will be in Aquarius. This is from the sidereal point of view. And that, my dear friends, is exactly what we are going to be talking about today. Yes. Hello, everyone. Hello, Claudia. Hello, Kai Zenma Canvas. Hello, Mel. Hello. Robert, hello, darling. Hi, Adam. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It is so wonderful to see you on this beautiful Saturday. So, you can most likely hear the roosters in the background. Sidebar, let me know if at any moment if the music is too loud. I do think I want to lower it a little bit. That's probably better. But yes, you can probably also hear the roosters in the background. I do have my door open here. Robert, the true side, I love you. I do have my door open here, and I have my windows open also. And that is because I want to let in the fresh air. And that's part of the energy that I'm feeling for this Jupiter in Aquarius moment in time. There's a very spring-like energy, but I feel like, or what I have channeled here, and we're going to get into the specific channeled messages, and there are a ton of them. So this might be a little bit of a longer video, but but this feels like we're being prepared for the springtime. Okay. Or at least what you could be doing over this period between December 9th, which obviously has passed. That was a month ago now. Today's January 8th. But anyway, from December 9th through to March 24th, the opportunities that you have in front of you to do certain self-mastery work will be preparing us for springtime, to clean things out. It's like we're leading up to... Okay, I'll just say this. One of the messages that I channeled here is that what it is that we release and heal over this time period is what we will be sweeping out. The remnants of this, whatever it is we're healing at this moment, is what we're going to be sweeping out come May specifically, but springtime, very spring cleaning type of energy, okay? So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we had, in true Uranian form, actually, we had a little bit of technical difficulties at first, but hey, we're back and we're ready to go. Yes? So, you guys, I have a lot of channeled messages here for the collective. I kind of just want to get started, so why don't we do that? Yeah. I want to timestamp, kinda. I'm going to try and do my best, but there's so much here, it might be implausible, I just heard, to timestamp things because there are so many different messages here. But again, if you guys want to... Hey, Kamwa. Oh my God, Kamwa, you made it for a live stream. Yes. If anybody else wants to timestamp, you're more than welcome to, okay? Okay. Let's just get started here. And I definitely want to smoke a cigarette for this. Anyway, let's get started. So the channeling for this I wasn't really planning on doing this reading. I really wasn't planning on talking about Jupiter being in Aquarius necessarily at all. But I was hanging out, chilling out yesterday. I had finished my planned or my scheduled work for the day, and I was sitting here playing one of my favorite games. I was playing Factorio. If you know, then you know that the factory must grow. Anyway, I was playing my game and just zoning out, tuning into the universe, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I started hearing the Teletubbies song. I kid you not, you guys. Like, I shit you not. All of a sudden, Tinky Winky, Dipsy, La La, Po started playing in my head. Teletubbies, Teletubbies, say hello. Uh-oh. Yeah, straight up and down. Like, I'm not even lying to you. And I was like, okay, what is this, spirit? And that led me through to this channeling. And one of the big messages for Jupiter being in Aquarius during this time period is coming from the inner child. And I am going to be doing a bit of an inner child reading during this because the inner child wants to speak specifically. I have specific texts that the inner child wants to speak from. Poe was my favorite, by the way. Oh, Kamwa, I don't know. Kamwa, also, speaking to the technical difficulties, there was a live stream that I tried to do right before this, previous to this. I just deleted that. And so this live stream that's going on right now should be the only one on the channel. So Kamwa, you might want to... I can see your chat, Kamwa. Hold on, you guys. Okay. So the big message for this Aquarius, or I'm sorry, Jupiter being in Aquarius time period is to allow your inner child to come forward. Really, it's saying allow your inner child to lead you forward, okay? But let me get into my notes here. So I started channeling this message last night, and the Teletubbies really don't have anything to do with this situation other than it being a reference to your inner child. However, okay, Kamwa, here you are. Well, I loved the Teletubbies, okay? Like, the Teletubbies was popular when I think I was in like actually, no, I think I was in 5th grade. It was when I went into middle school, because I had officially crossed into that age where you shouldn't necessarily be watching Teletubbies anymore. But me and my friend Katie, who I rode the bus with at that time, we loved it. And we used to watch the show in the morning and then get on the bus for school and talk about it. Like, I loved the Teletubbies. Okay, I thought they were so adorable. But it's really just a reference to the inner child. Now, for some of you here, some of the message was, think back to that time period. So like Claudia, you're saying you never watched that show. That's fine. You didn't actually have to watch that show. For some of you, just think back to that time period when maybe you did watch that show, or when that show was popular. Either, and what I'm getting right now is, either something happened, maybe there was some sort of traumatic event during that time period of which you are now working on, or you have the opportunity to break free from during this Jupiter being in Aquarius time period, or this is connected to your inner child. So like, even if you were an adult or an older person, someone who societally speaking wouldn't necessarily watch the Teletubbies, because the Teletubbies wasn't aimed for your age group or your age bracket, right? But yet you still loved it. You still had some affinity for it. If that spoke to, or if the Teletubbies speaks to your inner child in that way, then think about or focus on what it is you dreamt of during that time period. Okay? So that's why the Teletubbies is involved with this. Now, as I was continuing with this, I was channeling through it and I was like, okay, Spirit, this is obviously a message for the collective. So, Kamwa, thank you so much for that donation. This is obviously a message for the collective. So when do you want me to do this? And they said Saturday. Of course, that was today, but they said Saturday. And I was like, okay, Saturday. And knowing that Spirit speaks fairly cryptically, they give you just enough to get you to figure it out for yourself, right? So that's why they said they led with the Teletubbies, and why they answered my question as Saturday. Why? Because Saturday is Saturn Day. Saturday is associated with the planet of Saturn. And so then I was like, okay, I made that connection. All right, Saturday, Saturn Day. Okay, so who is associated with Saturn? Capricorn, yes, but also Aquarius, yes. Okay, wait a second. Something just entered into Aquarius, and I went into the chart and boop, Jupiter. Jupiter is in Aquarius, okay? Method of deduction. So Jupiter is in Aquarius, officially started on December 9th of 2021, and it will be in Aquarius until March 24th of this year, 2022. Okay, so and that's at that moment, that's when it crosses into Pisces. So now Jupiter, with some of my original channelings here from yesterday, Jupiter in Aquarius. Now is the time to, quote, break the rules, because I got that I got the inner child reference from the Teletubbies, and then I started speaking to the inner child, and I'm like, what are you saying here? And I was hearing it's time to break the rules, because Aquarius is a rule breaker. And this is very important to understand. There are two sides, at least for the most part, I'm hearing, because everything is multifaceted. But from our frame of view, from our point of reference here, there are two sides to Saturn. There's the Capricorn side, which drives us forward in the structure that is already put in place. Okay. And then there's the Aquarian side, which liberates us from that. And so that is also another reason why Aquarius is also associated with Uranus. And Uranus has been retrograde through Aries since mid to late March of 2021, creating and driving massive change for all of us. Now, Uranus will only be retrograde until mid-January, somewhere around the full moon and the Sun-Pluto conjunction. The Sun and Pluto conjunction is on the 16th. The full moon is on the 17th. I believe Uranus actually goes direct on the 18th, all of January this month of 2022. So effectively, what's happening here for us during this Jupiter in Aquarius time period is a culmination of everything that the Uranus retrograde transit through Aries has been trying to teach us. And so one of the other things that I channeled from Jupiter being in Aquarius is that this is kind of a time of judgment. Aquarius is the sign of objective thinking and balancing and revolutionizing for everyone. Aquarius is also associated with philanthropy and doing things for the collective. Aquarius rules the 11th house, which is your house of social groups, your house of wishes and fears, and also your house of helping others. It's very closely connected to the energy of the 6th house, which is ruled by Virgo. And this actually, random thought, but this actually might be why Virgo and Aquarius might get along very well. Anyway, this is kind of feeling like a time of judgment, and that came through, that channeling of this being a time of judgment came through after a stream of channeling that came. So I kind of want to start at the beginning of this part of the channeling here. We need to understand, we need to keep in mind that no matter what it is we're experiencing during this time of Jupiter being in Aquarius, this is in fact a very, very benevolent time. One of the images that I was getting from this time period was of cards or a deck being shuffled. But the reason why that deck was being shuffled was because there was a bit of a tally being taken. Okay, so let's go back. This is a very benevolent time. This is a time of healing past mistakes and or mishaps, either through conscious action, as in like actually getting a do-over, or not. So this being very much incognito, underneath the surface, not readily visible in your conscious mind, but subconsciously or underneath the surface, there is a rectifying or a reconciliation that's happening. This is also a time to have fun and to play. And this point is very closely connected to the image of shuffling cards or the deck being shuffled that I was seeing for this time period. Be playful with the universe at this time, because a lot could change. And a lot could change in an instant. Okay, so be careful with that. Do not work to settle into something too quickly. Be playful and flexible. A lot could change at this time. This really is not a time to make solid decisions. Okay, this is a time for healing and rectifying. This is a very changeable time. It's kind of like the cards are being shuffled right now. Now, the reason why the cards are being shuffled at this time, and why we need to remain as flexible as possible, and why this is not a time to make solid decisions, is because there is a tally being taken. So because of that, karma could be set in motion at this time. But it's like the universe is taking I kind of want to say an audit. It's not an audit. It's not the type of situation where you have miscalculated and now things are being corrected. But audit is the closest word that I can get to this. It's like there's a tally being taken. It's like you're at the end of the month and you're balancing your checkbook. There it is. We're balancing our energetic checkbook at this time. And a lot of this is directly connected to what you've been experiencing while Uranus has been retrograde through Aries, and the actions you've been taking during this time period. So if you've been really doing a lot of work to heal and become more self-aware and not self-conscious, but self-aware, and Three of Pentacles energy, really focusing on that self-mastery, this could be a really good time for you, because you could be getting a lot of beneficial payback from that at this moment or over this time period. So, and the other thing that the universe really wants me to say is that people that are owed certain things, whether it be physically, as in monetarily, or energetically, that bill is being written and delivered. Okay? One of the things that I channeled here, where did I write this down? Yes, a time of judgment. Karmic debt may be coming due over this time period and collected on over this time period, or the process of collecting what is due can be set in motion during this time. Depending on how it is you have presented yourself in face of or in light of what it is you've been going through over this time, either that can be good, you could be in the black, or you could be in the red. But what I'm feeling, there are certain people around you being part of the collective here, there are certain people around you that are about to receive some heavy, some fat bills. Especially if there has been any energetic work against you. All I have to say is yikes. Now, if you do find yourself in the red for any reason, okay, and it's entirely possible that some of us may find ourselves in the red. For some of you, what I'm getting right now is that you may become aware of how you are in the red in certain areas of your life that you were not aware of before. That's okay. Okay, yes, karmic debt needs to be repaid in kind in that way, but but be grateful for the fact that now you are aware of it so you can pay this karmic debt back and then never have to find yourself in that position again. Okay, great. But if you do find yourself in the red in certain ways, again, I'm now for some of you, I'm feeling like you are in the red, you are in debt to yourself. Okay. But allow your inner child to lead you out of that sense of death. Sense of debt, but also sense of death. There is an ego death that is happening here for some of us. Okay. Allow your inner child to lead you out of that, to lead you through the process of paying that back, because your inner child knows the way out. Okay. Again, we're going to be doing an inner child reading. The inner child wants to talk, and I have specific decks for the inner child to speak through. Moving forward, the next channeled message I have here is that this is a time to break the rules. And actually, that's one of the first things that I channeled here that I said originally. Okay, this is a rule breaking time, right? Because yes, here it is. Because your Aquarius is also associated with Uranus, and Uranus has been moving through Aries right now and is retrograde currently. Okay, we've been talking about that, so y'all know. All right. Now is the time to break the rules, quote unquote, in ways dictated by your inner child. Great benefit and expansion can come, and very well may come, from you breaking the rules in this way. And then I wrote in capital letters, trust your inner child. There is a cultural and societal roadblock that we have got to get around as humans. And that is thinking and believing that children know nothing. Oh, darling, it's the exact opposite. Children know way more than you think, possibly even way more than you do. And it is actually the conditioning of society that separates you from what it is you do know when you come into the world and you experience life as the child. The inner child knows everything. I'm going to say that again because that is a really powerful message. The inner child knows everything that you couldn't even possibly begin to fathom in your current conscious egoic state. So trust your inner child during this time, please. If you don't do anything else, please just trust your inner child. So, a time to break the rules, yes? Now, for some of us, this means breaking the rules that we have set for ourselves, or we have put in place in our own lives, or the rules we have created for our own selves in our own lives. This is directly related to Uranus being retrograde through Aries. Okay. Changing your sense of self. Okay. This is a very Eight of Swords type of energy of your own doing, but this is because of trauma. So think back, think back to maybe when, and you hear how my throat got kind of choked up at that moment. Think back to the Teletubby days. Either when you used to watch the Teletubbies, whenever in your life, even if you got into the Teletubbies for some weird second with your friends later on in life after it was popular, think about what trauma you may have endured over that time period, or think about what it is you dreamt of creating at that time period. Yes? Okay. Trauma. Breaking the rules in order for us to break free from the Eight of Swords, the trauma, the rules we have set for ourselves during whatever given time period. And again, allow your inner child to guide you through the process of breaking these rules. We are not asking you to break the rules in an arbitrary way. We are asking you to break the rules in ways that your inner child dictates. Now, the last thing that I've channeled for this time period for the collective is that this is a time to open up and allow some fresh air in. And this is exactly why I have opened all my windows and I have my door open so that I can allow this fresh air to move through my apartment. And this is what was giving me the springtime feeling that I was speaking of earlier. So when I channeled this part of the message, this part of the message being a time to open up and allow in some fresh air, my shadow side came roaring through and said, literally verbatim, quote, said, "Air out that dirty laundry because that shit stinks, honey." That shit be stank, girl, bro. Okay, we'll let the shadow revel in that for a hot second because it deserves to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. Okay, and loved. Okay. But this is what was making me feel like it's kind of like springtime. And this is what was taking me to the part of the message that was saying this, whatever it is you heal, download, whatever it is you heal and release over this time period is what you're going to end up being, sidebar, the time period of the Teletubbies. Well, it was new to television when I was around 5th grade. That was sometime in the 90s. I want to say around 95, 96. I want to say around 95, actually, 1995. Anyway, shit. I forgot what I was talking about. We were talking about springtime, and allowing your dirty laundry to air out. So, what I was saying was coming back to first aired in 97. Okay, there you go. What I was coming back to was shit. There it goes again. What it is you're going to be healing and releasing over this time period is what you're ultimately going to be sweeping out of your garden or out of your energetic space come springtime. I heard May, because I was getting a very spring cleaning type of vibe from all of this energy. Like I even went so far as to sweep out my apartment or this room before I started this live reading. Now, of course, it rained a lot last night and I was walking around outside checking on my garden just to see how the rain was affecting it. And I got a lot of dirt on my shoes and that ended up tracking a lot of dirt into the house. So I needed to sweep it anyway, but there was also a spring cleaning vibe that was coming from this. All right. Okay. I'm getting into cards now because I did get a download. So 4 of Pentacles, what it is you've been holding on to, okay? These rules, the 8 of Swords type of energy, the foundation you've built for yourself because of trauma. You're going to be healing this. You have the opportunity, at least. Some of you may feel like you're forced. There might be the universe is kind of coming through and saying, no, we're kind of forcing this at this point, okay? We're kind of forcing this at this point because these things need to change if you're going to be in alignment with the universe here. But whatever it is you've been holding on to, 4 of Pentacles, is going to need to be released, and you're going to be cleaning this out. Okay, you're going to be healing this. It's going to die out. You know, it's going to dry or it's going to rot, and you'll be able to remove it from your garden. You'll be able to sweep it out come spring cleaning time. Okay, 4 of Pentacles. With that, you have the High Priestess to the 6 of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. So trust your intuition at this time. Also, I'm getting a Piscean energy from you. So by the time that Jupiter moves into Pisces, which will be officially after the 24th of March, I believe, or on the 24th of March or the 23rd of March. I don't remember. I have to turn back to my notes, but whatever. By the time Jupiter moves into Pisces, you will have achieved a victory. Sorry if you can't see that. You will have achieved a victory or you will have a new start. You'll be able to plant new seeds, Ace of Pentacles. And one of the other things that I was channeling for this is it was taking me back to my garden analogy. Y'all know I love gardening. I'm a big gardener. And I've been really focusing on that and doing a lot of organic gardening, right? And if you've been listening to any of that I've been putting out there, I've been talking about how you need to focus on promoting healthy microorganism life, or a healthy community of microorganisms within your soil. And that's actually what makes it soil and not dirt. And that will help the plant to grow. It will be why the plant grows, because the roots of the plant, or the plant itself, communicates with the microorganisms in the soil to provide it with what it needs to grow and flourish. So the analogy here is air out that dirty laundry. Get some oxygen into your soil to help make it less anaerobic, because a plant cannot grow. A seed that you plant in your garden will not grow if it is in anaerobic dirt or soil. It's not really soil, because it's, I don't know what you would call it, but if it's anaerobic, it can't grow. And what makes it aerobic is oxygen, because it's a difference in the life forms, mainly the bacteria, also the fungi, but your beneficial microorganisms thrive in an environment that is rich in oxygen. The detrimental microorganisms, your infectious disease type bacteria and whatnot, thrive in an anaerobic environment. So get some oxygen into your soil so it can become less anaerobic. This way you can increase your potential for flowers and or fruit come spring. And that could be because your soil would be prime for you to plant new seeds. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. That's all the channeled messages here. It's time to switch gears. We're going to talk about the inner child focus here, because the inner child actually really does want to speak. And like I said, I have specific decks that I'm going to use to speak from the point of view or the perspective of the inner child. But I do want to pause for a second, collect myself, refocus, and get everything set up, and then we will continue. Yeah? So stay right there. I will be right back. Well, that's the wrong scene, but it doesn't matter. I'll leave it for now. Hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody. How are we feeling, guys? Hi, Jinx. Jinx is feeling good. She loves it when I keep this back door open. And to be honest with you, I love it too. It's really beautiful. I wish I could show you. Jinx is laying over there. It's beautiful. And I've noticed that she guards the garden. You are so adorable, Jinx. I can't take it, you guys. All right, so we're going to continue here. Excellent. I'm glad you feel amazing. We're going to continue here. And this is more of the card reading part of the reading here. So I am going to mark this down because this is a good time to timestamp. Yes. Okay. So at this point, I want to get into the cards, but I also want to speak specifically on behalf of the inner child because the inner child really wants to come through during this time to help us with some guidance. I do have specific decks that I'm going to use for the inner child, and then I think I just want to pull general energies for this Jupiter in Aquarius time period. Yes? So, in the tarot, the sun represents the inner child. Now, and some of my notes here. Now is the time to follow your joy and bliss. Very Six of Cups energies, and that's why I used the Six of Cups as part of the image for the thumbnail for this video. Allow your inner child to guide you. Okay. One of the questions that some of the questions that I channeled for you here during this time period is: ask yourself, what fills me with joy and excitement? I'll say that again. What fills me with joy and excitement? Ask yourself that question. That question specifically, regardless as to whatever time period we're in. If we are going to connect with our inner children, that is a beautiful question to ask because that will put you directly in contact with your inner child. That will help you to create, if you've been struggling with creating a connection between yourself and your inner child, ask yourself that question. What fills me with joy and excitement? That is a direct avenue to your inner child. Yes? In terms of the answer that you get to that question, then continue to build that direction, that direct connection with your inner child by allowing your inner child to guide you towards that answer, to guide you through the process of answering or fulfilling the answer to that question. Okay. So in terms of this inner child reading, I wanted to get a significator. I don't do this often, but I wanted to get a significator. And obviously that significator would be the sun, right? Because that's what we were just saying. What actually came out for the significator is the Page of Wands, which can symbolize the inner child, sandwiched in between the sun and the moon. And the moon is very appropriate at this time because the moon stores the energies of our past, our dark and negative energies, our past hurts, our past pain. It stores all that information. The moon is a direct portal into your shadow side. And that's what's being healed at this time. Certain shadow aspects, okay? So, channeling for the inner child. 3 shuffles here. I want to start with the Oracle of Visions. I haven't used this deck in a long time, but I want to start here. Oracle of Visions. What messages do you have for us, please, inner child? 1, 2. Okay, what is your message in relation to, please, inner child? This is 3. All right. Wow, this is a very powerful message, you guys. So the first card, well, let me start here. The overall energy in terms of what your inner child, or what the inner child, the message that the inner child has for us. This is all associated with your memories. But this is card number 22, extreme healing. Okay, but this all has to do with your memories and past situations with certain individuals. For many of us, specifically, it's our mother and our father, which then translates into ancestral karma and family cycles and stuff like that. But this definitely is directly connected to certain conditioning that you have accepted and owned because of the trauma that you've experienced with your interpersonal relationships. First card is card number 10. And this card says, through this card, the inner child is saying that we are too focused on logic and reason. This is a natural progression for us. It's because logic and reason keeps us safe. It's a very egoic energy in terms of the fact that the ego protects us. You're too connected to, or you're relying too heavily on logic and reason. You have to allow wonder, excitement, and the infinite to come into your life. We understand why you are so focused on logic and reason, because again, like I said, I guess in layman's terms, Spirit just said, logic and reason, straight facts, all these books and scrolls this individual is surrounded by. Straight facts help to keep us safe in this energetic environment, this dense and low vibrational energetic environment. Oh, excellent, Robert. I'm glad the music is perfect. I'm loving this music. But anyway, the next card that came out is card number 1, which is kind of attributed to the magician. And as you can see, this is an individual that's dressed as an individual, as a magician, that has a box of wonders in which doves are flying out of it. This is your magic being released into the world. However, this card is in reverse. This is what's keeping your magic from entering into the world, says the inner child. This is what keeps the infinite from being expressed through you. And it all has to do with your memories and past traumas. Tarot is next. 5 shuffles here. Oh, and for the tarot, I picked the Mystic Dreamer Tarot. I haven't used this deck in a long time. I forgot I had this deck. Like, the inner child literally had me go into my bookcase of cards and pick through them, and it picked this one. I haven't used this deck in ages. 5 shuffles. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Try that again. This is 5. Alrighty. Messages from the inner child. What does this involve? Messages from the inner child. Yeah, this is a self-defeatist type of energy. 5 of Swords is at the bottom of the deck so far. You must be free of this. Some of you are waffling back and forth talking about, I don't know if I can really let this go. I don't know if I really should let this go. They hurt me. They did me wrong. Your inner child understands that, but your inner child is saying we can't stay in this combative energy anymore because it's not just hurting, well, it's not just hurting them, and in some cases, it's not hurting them at all. Really, it's just hurting you. And forget other people. The focus is yourself here. And ultimately, if it's hurting you, then it needs to be ceased. Five of Swords. Underneath the Five of Swords is the King of Swords. Objective thinking, Aquarian energy. There go the chickens. But underneath that King of Swords is the Four of Cups. Underneath the Four of Cups is the Knight of Cups to the world. So you're reluctant to extend your heart in a certain way that will end this cycle. The world, underneath the world is the Five of Cups. Some of you don't even want to deal with the heartbreak that, or feeling the emotions that is necessary in order for you to bring this situation into completion. That's part of the reason why you're avoiding this. But you really, if you want to move forward, you cannot allow this cycle to keep going. You have to end this, if only for yourself. So some of you really need to, for lack of a better term, some of you kind of need to grow some balls. That's literally what the inner child is saying, so I'm just going to go with it. Some of you need to grow some balls and enforce the fact, Seven of Wands, that you intend to end this cycle. Ten of Swords. You have to. Stand up. Stand up and say no more. You don't necessarily have to say that verbally, but you can say that energetically, if nothing else. In some cases, you will have to stand up and verbally say it, but it doesn't always have to be that way. You can just energetically set a boundary and not allow yourself to cross over it, because you can't stop from someone else from crossing a boundary that you've set. You can't stop them there, but understand that there is karma they will have to be held accountable for if they cross your boundaries that you have intentionally set, or whatever. If you cross your boundaries, they have karma to pay. But you can't stop yourself from crossing your own boundaries. So something very specific here with that Seven of Wands and Ten of Swords energy is not allowing yourself to cross the boundary that you have set. And in some cases, that's where some of you or some of us owe ourselves a karmic debt, because we have set boundaries and consistently crossed them. Now, the other thing that the inner child is saying here is that you need to continue to persevere. Friggin' roosters. That's Lester, by the way. But you need to continue to persevere. Nine of Wands. In finding a way to make a balance, or to find a balance. Page of Swords to the Two of Pentacles. That's how this is going to be cleared. Eight of Wands. With that message, the inner child is really encouraging us to push through. Seek the answers and you will receive, ask the question and you will receive the answers. Seek the answers and you will find them, is what I'm hearing during this time, which is a very benevolent time. Jupiter being in Aquarius is expanding your opportunity to release yourself from certain restrictions that you have put in place because of past karma. Because of past trauma. In some cases, because of karma. Okay, fit that into your life how it resonates. I don't know how I want to say that, so I'm going to leave it as it is. Jupiter in Aquarius is expanding this time, this opportunity. It's taking this window of opportunity that at some point may have just been a small window, and is taking it, Jupiter is taking that window and blowing it way out of proportion. That is how benevolent Jupiter is. Jupiter wants to bestow all of the best things upon you. Jupiter is opulence. Jupiter is excess. Jupiter is fun, joy, unconditional love. Jupiter is taking this window for us and blowing it way out of proportion, just so that you don't miss it. And Jupiter is not putting this in front of you saying, I'm putting this here in this way so that you don't miss it because, bitch, you blind as fuck. No, that is not what Jupiter is saying. Jupiter is blowing this window of opportunity out of proportion because Jupiter wants you to get through it. Wants to provide you with every chance to see this opportunity and take advantage of it. Jupiter is an extension of the universe. And yes, the universe loves you this much. Wow. Okay. This part of the message is complete. Okay, there we go. I need to pause again because unfortunately I need to use the little boy's room. So hold on a second, you guys. I'm going to do that really quick. I will be right back. And then we're going to close out this session with just a general energetic pull for the collective for Jupiter being in Aquarius. Yes, I shall return. And we're back. Hi, everybody. Hi, Jinxie. What's up, baby girl? Oh, really? Look, you want to sit on my lap? You can. Come on in. Come on in, Jinx. Okay. How are you guys feeling? I hope you're doing well. I hope this is resonating with you well. Well, Claudia, you are welcome to watch this reading over and over again as much as you like in order to really get those notes. Yes? Happy Saturday to you guys. Happy Saturn Day to you. We are communicating with the lesser known side of Saturn right now, today, during this channeled message. So the next part of this and the final part of this session is just going to be channeled messages. And I'm going to use the cards to do so. This goes here. Okay. I'm really vibing with the Energy Oracle deck lately. Oh, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm really vibing with the Energy Oracle deck lately. So that's what we're going to start with. So this is just general energy, general card pull for Jupiter in Aquarius. 2 more shuffles here. All right. Also, this. Okay, what do we have for the collective? Angel of Love is the first card out. Collective messages for Jupiter in Aquarius for this time period until about March 24th of 2022. Yeah, first chakra, Archangel Michael. Yes, Archangel Michael. So root. All right, down to your root. You really want to be working with your root chakra during this time. I would recommend listening to binaural beats that help to influence the healing of your root chakra. Pay very close attention to what comes up during this time, because this is coming from deep within you. This is coming from your sense of self. This is programming that is coming up here for healing and reconciliation that is deeply woven into your karma, I heard. Also your DNA, your genetic material. So this also could be related to ancestral karma during this time. Yes? What else do we have for the collective for Jupiter in Aquarius? Yeah, there you go. Next card out is card number 34, which is funny because the first card that came out is card number 35. And what's even funnier is that at this moment, it just started raining. Cleansing, healing. Can you hear that? But anyway, card number 34. Door to personal healing and happiness. So focus on your root chakra. And yes, deep, dark fears. I wanted to pull out the shadow deck so that we could get a little bit of a shadow work reading, but what I'm feeling from spirit is that that's going to be too harsh right now. You know what shadow work you need to be doing right now. You do. It's inescapable at this time, especially with the conjunction between Pluto and the Sun that is happening this month on the 16th. Any sort of transit with Pluto is extreme. So this conjunction, see, it's raining really heavily now. This conjunction that's happening between Pluto and the Sun this month could really be bringing up some deep, dark fears. Some of the scariest shit you have had to face in your life up until this point. Just be aware. And if and when that happens, make sure that you ground yourself, honey. Root chakra. Ground yourself. It's going to be scary. It's frightful. It's some of the scariest shit you have had to face in your life up until this point. But if you ground yourself, you will be able to get through it. Okay? Do you hear that, Rain? Hi, Jinxie. It's okay, baby girl. Don't worry about it. It's just some rain. What other messages do we have for the collective at this time? Yeah, now the real healing happens. Now the real healing happens. Door to spirit. Door to spirit. There's a door that's opening for you during this time. A doorway to higher spiritual awareness and or experiences. So this is very much connected to some of the reason why some of you may have felt like you have been lacking in some of your spiritual experiences. What's wrong, Jinx? Jinxie? What's the matter? What's the matter, Jinx? Something scary just entered into the situation. A very dark and mysterious energy just entered into the environment, our energetic environment. 222, please do not be afraid. You don't need to be afraid, you guys. Face whatever just entered into the situation for you or for us. Just face it. That's literally all it's asking for. Some of you are really facing some serious shadow elements. Hold on. Baby girl, we're fine. I'm not going anywhere, Jinxie. It's okay. Jinxie, I'm staying right here. You guys, something really scary is happening. Jinx is freaking out. But, I've got the shadow deck here. I'm sorry, the Dark Mirror Oracle. Let's talk about this, because something really scary is coming up, you guys. I haven't seen Jinx act like this before. All right, Blossoming Abundance is at the bottom of the deck. Okay, that's good, but see, you guys, you gotta face this. If you're really gonna be able to reach this blossoming abundance that's happening for you, you have got to face this. Just face it. That's literally all it's asking you for. Just face it. Hear me. Listen to what I have to say. Show me some respect and dignity by acknowledging that I exist. And that is directly speaking to some sort of traumatic event that you've had in the past that you've been trying to push away. 5 shuffles for the Dark Mirror Oracle. 1, 2, 3, 4. I love you, Robert. This is 5. All right. So what is this? What is this, you guys? What's this shadow aspect? What do we need to know about this shadow aspect? Okay, it's coming up behind you. It's okay, Jinxie. So this card came out, it fell on the floor, but it fell out behind Jinx. And the way that Jinx is reacting right now, it's like there's something around her that she can't see. She can't see it. She doesn't know what's happening. What is that? What is that? But it's right behind her. And unfortunately, it is a parasite. You have energetic connections. You have energetic ties to certain people, certain situations, certain circumstances that are parasitic, that are leeching off of you. So those of you that are experiencing a physical level of energetic drainage, focus on that. Hone into that. Allow it to lead you to the realization of what this parasite is. Okay? There's something about this shadow aspect that is parasitic, which means that it sustains itself on you energetically somehow. There's some sort of energetic circumstance that sustains this energy. And yes, it enjoys that because it enjoys its own life. But it doesn't enjoy the pain that has resulted in its life. And just because you heal this pain doesn't mean that this is not going to continue to exist. You're not killing this life. You're not snuffing out its life force, but you are healing it. Okay? What else can we say about this parasite or about this shadow element? Ooh, honey. Oh, honey. Oh gosh. The next card that came out is Revenge. All right, so that's what it's feeding off of. Resentment. With that, you have Artificial Heart. An artificial heart that actually needs to be sacrificed, because this artificial heart is creating a masquerade. You gotta put this thing out of its misery. And by putting it out of its misery, actually, yes, you are snuffing out a part of its existence, a part of its representation and reality, but you are actually closing that chapter so that it can be transformed into something new. Because remember, energy never dies, it only transforms or changes form. So yes, whatever this is, this shadow aspect that is parasitic, it needs to be sacrificed, because the heart of it is the reason that it has been given life is artificial, because it comes from pain and trauma. Trauma that needs to be seen and heard for what it truly is. Whatever message it has for you, just fucking accept it. If not, you will forever be plagued by the need for revenge. And then finally, the card that you have here is Peaceful Among Thorns. And then underneath that, this is all at the bottom of the deck. Underneath that, you have Atonement. And then you have Naked Before the Stars. And then you have Hiding Your True Self, which has caused downcast pride, which has led you officially, ultimately, to this reality of an artificial heart. You have become peaceful among thorns. This is never something you should be peaceful around. You are restricted here. And not only are you restricted, but pain is being inflicted upon you by being complacent with this energy. Do not allow yourself to be complacent with this energy any longer. This is what's driving the need for revenge, because you are constantly being hurt and you are expecting those that have hurt you to relieve you from this hurt. Let me tell you something right now, that is never going to happen. It's not. At least not in a timely fashion like you would like. So why not streamline the process? Release yourself. Atonement. Some of you have karmic debt to pay during this time period of Jupiter being in Aquarius, yes, and some of that debt is a debt to yourself. Either allowing yourself to be stabbed in the back or allowing others to stab you in the back. And you have done that consciously by being peaceful among thorns and or complacent with the reality that you find yourself in, the rules that you are facing right now that you have got to break for yourself. The rules that you have put in place that you are actively being alleviated from are the rules that have allowed you to be peaceful among thorns. Robert, thank you so much for that donation. Well, Naked Before the Stars, which is connected to atonement. You need to answer to yourself. You need to stand before the universe, stand before God, Source, Creator, stand before your higher self and say, this is what happened. And I'm sorry for allowing this to happen to myself. And what's funny is your higher self is coming through, the universe is coming through saying, girl, we knew that already. We saw it happen when it happened. You ain't hiding anything from us, but also we're not going to harp on that. Thank you for being honest with us. That's all we ever needed from you. literally being honest with yourself and the universe, God, source, creator, literally facing what it is you've been running away from is all you have to do. That is literally the only thing the universe has been asking you for. I understand that that comes with other challenges because now you have to get over this hurdle. Okay, we get it. But really, the first step was just being honest about it. Because you've been hiding your true self. Hiding your true self. Card number 14, hiding your true self, which has been generating an energy of downcast pride. And thus, that has led to the manufacturing of this artificial heart. Back to the tarot. I really think I want to end the message here. What if you have Jupiter in Aquarius in your birth chart? Then this is probably an extra strong time period for you. What I'm getting, Martina. Hi, Martina. By the way, what I'm getting here for that question is if you have Jupiter in Aquarius in your chart and you align with that placement, then this is a massively powerful time for you. You will most likely resonate very strongly with at least some of the things that I'm saying right here, right now. Okay? Okay. It is time to end this message. And I intend on ending it on a very positive note, which is represented in the cards that I have on my table right now. Whatever it is you are facing during this time period. I don't care how difficult it is. I don't care how emotionally tumultuous it is. I don't care how much death and rebirth or how acute this sense of death and rebirth is for you during this time. I don't care. And I will tell you why. Because during this time period, justice is being served for you. And you are getting into a much greater alignment. The Chariot is underneath the bottom of the deck. The Chariot is also, oh my God, the Chariot is also paired with, holy shit, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Devil in the flesh. During this time period, you are getting into a massively greater alignment. That is serving justice and helping you to start a brand new chapter. The Fool. I want to say very consciously that I love my job. And this is one of those moments where I love it the most. Congratulations, everybody. I love you all so much. I definitely think I'm going to leave it there. Take this time to enjoy yourself. Take this time to connect with joy and fun and bliss and excitement and exuberance and adventure. You guys deserve it. You guys deserve it. You deserve to be free. And that's what Uranus has been trying to do. I know that Uranus, having been retrograde in Aries, has been terrifying. I know. I've been experiencing it myself. This is Eric talking, not the universe. This is Eric talking for a second. I've been experiencing it too, you guys. I know how terrible this has been. But I also know how beautiful it can be once you come out the other side of it. Here comes the universe again. We love you. And we want you to experience this freedom. So please take our hand and follow us through this. Because we've got you, baby. We've got you like no other. Your mother and father cannot hold you down the way that we hold you down. Ever. We want you to get that through your head. Your mother and father, your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, your niece, your nephew, your auntie, your uncle, your cousins. Nobody can hold you down the way we can and the way we always will. No holds barred. No holds barred. I don't give a damn what you've been through or what you've done in your life, baby. I will still hold you down, says the universe. Sitting real pretty, honey. I need a drink. Oh. I love you guys so fucking much. And I'm so happy to be here and proud to be able to sit in this position for the collective and to speak to us, to speak to ourselves in such a dynamic way. I want you to understand. I want you to understand how grateful I am to be able to be in this position for us all. I'm gonna go now. I love you. Okay, I'm just gonna go. I hope you have a fantastic day. Please understand that I am with you during this Uranus in Jupiter transit, okay? And I'm always with you. If you have enjoyed this reading, if you are new here and you are considering it, please subscribe. And if you would like to help to support the channel, check us out on Patreon. If you join us on Patreon, you get regular readings throughout the month. Okay? I love you guys so much. Oh, hi, Ivy. Hi, Ivy. How you doing, sister? That's my soul sister right there. Rachel! I'm gonna go now. But I love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Many blessings to you. Leo, your monthly reading is tomorrow.